What's up, everybody? 2:01. That's East Coast time. And of course, it's 11:01 on the West Coast. We're representing East and West. We're representing eBay versus Amazon. I'm Chris Green, representing the Amazon side of things. And of course, my co host from the West Coast, Jason T. Smith, head lifeguard at the Thrifting Board. J-Town, what's up?
What's happening? I had to find a new hat today, so these are left over from the garage sale. So I thought I'd give.
No, nobody bought that? Amazing. I can't believe nobody bought that.
We had like three or four. We took fun pictures with them, but nobody bought my sombreros. And I even have, this is a Party City $3 sombrero. I have a legit, real, like Mac Daddy, top of the line, $200 sombrero, and nobody bought that either. And you have a good sombrero when the cable guy comes to fix your cable, who is Mexican, and he pauses and goes, "Dude, that's a good sombrero." That's when you know you have found a quality sombrero at the thrift store.
Dude, I think the best way to judge the quality of a sombrero is if you're at a Mexican restaurant, if it's the quality of hat that they're going to make you wear when they sing the birthday song to you, that's how you know it's quality sombrero. Chat room, am I right? Who's been to the Mexican restaurant where they make you wear the sombrero when they sing happy birthday to you? That sombrero is always legit. They don't bring out no Party City sombreros. They bring out the real deal with the jewels and the embroidery and yeah. I lived in Texas for a while, man. I know my Mexican food restaurants.
Hey, I was talking about you earlier, so nothing public, but I happened to mention, because on my show this week, my other show, we're doing the trials and tribulations of being an online seller who lives in Canada. So I was talking about you, and I happened to mention you're from Canada, and they were like, "Chris is from Canada?" So they asked me, "Where are you from?" And I couldn't remember.
Oh, near Toronto.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little town, St. Catharines. It's in between Toronto and Buffalo, so it's right on the border.
Okay.
Kind of the story that I tell people is like growing up, it's the same demographic on both sides of the border. The money is kind of the same, like amounts, right? It's different money, of course, but it's not like $1 is 1,200 Canadian pesos or something. So the culture is very similar. This is back with like broadcast TV, so like we watched American TV. And if you think about it, when you live in Canada, or probably when you live in the United States, real close to the Canadian border, there's never a time where they stop and teach you that, hey, those guys over there, they're different. Those are Americans. Like those guys, those are Canadians. So like we really didn't think of any differences, right? And I remember this very clearly. It was summertime. It was July 4th, and my mom was getting ready to go to work. And of course, it's summertime for school kids, so we're just hanging out, playing, watching TV. I'm like, "Mom, where are you going? It's 4th of July." She's like, that's just a work day here, because I'm watching American TV where they're talking about 4th of July, come buy a new car, and you got the day off work and all this stuff. I'm like, whatever, Mom, it's 4th of July. You're not supposed to be going. I remember thinking she was going to go to work and realize it was 4th of July and come home. But, of course, that didn't happen because 4th of July in Canada is just a regular day. So that's my Canadian story. And, of course, I've been in Texas since the 8th grade, and now Massachusetts going on 6 years. So I've been from the snow to the heat and now back to the snow.
Yeah, it is sunny and blue skies here. It is amazing. But speaking of Canada, if you're watching this show right now, or you see the replay before Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, my other show, 30 Business with J&A, we are doing a show with a Canadian seller. So he's going to talk about, and I was serious, the trials and tribulations, because shipping's so awful coming out of Canada that to be successful and make some money, you got to really understand it and really absorb it and work it into your costs, or you're just going to lose money, and that's not good. And he's quite successful, so I wanted to have him on talking about our friends north of the border.
Yeah, I would be down a very different career path if I had not moved.
Welcome to America, Chris.
Yeah. I'm still Canadian, actually, and I'll tell you the only reason why is because it is a heck of a lot easier to renew a green card than to apply for citizenship. So I'm taking the easy road out. And if you think about it, I lived in Texas, right? So, like, it's not, I mean, the only thing I can't do is vote, right? Oh, thanks. I get free water delivered. I'll probably pour it in this.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen.
Okay.
What's happening? Thank you.
I'm shoveling snow and bringing a sandwich.
Oh, shoveling snow.
Yeah,
It's
what's
fun.
that?
Why does anyone live there?
I don't know. The summer's good.
Yeah, we went sledding yesterday. That was pretty fun.
The summer is too short, though.
It is too short. But what was I saying?
Oh, how you're going to get deported because you only have a green card.
Oh, right, yeah. So I got a green card. The only thing I can't do is vote. And I lived in Texas, where, sorry, but voting doesn't really matter. And now I live in Massachusetts, where, sorry, voting doesn't really matter. So I pay my taxes and can't vote. So I would make the case that they'll kick you out, Jason, before they kick me out. All right? They never kicking me out. But I have said that I will get my citizenship this time around when my green card expires. So I will join the club, but I will selfishly join the club because I do not have to renounce my Canadian citizenship, and I can travel on 2 passports. So depending where I go, I can take the fast and easy line at customs. So I got that going.
So when does your green card expire? Are we going to have a ceremony when you become an American citizen?
Oh, I'm sure I'll post on Facebook when it happens. I'm sure it'll be like my most liked post of the year or something. It might be this. Maybe it's this year or next year.
All right.
I don't know. I'll look at it.
Keep us informed. So you've heard it here, folks. We're going to have a party somewhere in the country.
Maybe I have it with me. No, I don't have my green card with me. Green cards aren't even green, by the way. So you know.
Did they used to be?
I don't know.
What's the history? Like, why they called that?
I don't know.
All right, well, look into that and report back to us next Monday, please.
Don't know. Don't need to know.
All right, so here's our topic
for today. About Amazon versus eBay today, right?
Yep. Yeah, here's our topic for today. Let me fix my hat. So I just finished my year-end, and granted, I know it's the 3rd week of January. I just finished my year-end inventory for all the stuff that I have for sale on both eBay and Amazon because I do merchant fulfilled on Amazon, and so it's all sitting right behind me here. And so what I do is I print off a spreadsheet. Here's all the crap that I have, and then I go make sure that what's on here is what's here. And then anything not listed has got to get relisted, and then if there's things still on here that I don't own anymore, they got to get deleted. And I got to tell you, this was the worst one yet, and it was all my fault, and I remember what happened. There was a 30-day freebie offer on eBay for listings. So some things were ending, and so I ended them early, and then I relisted them all 30 days. And so when they expired, things that didn't sell, they were sitting in my unsolds. And one time, a few months ago, I accidentally deleted all my unsolds. So I had no clue what to relist. And it was like a couple hundred items. And so when I did my physical inventory, yeah, we had in the tubs on the shelves at least 250 items that should have been listed. And some were such perfect holiday gift items, winter items. I was so mad that I didn't get it done, before Christmas. But of course, that's when we're the busiest. But I knew I screwed up, but it was months ago, and I should have fixed it then. So my question to you is, from the Amazon side, if you're doing FBA, is life a lot easier keeping up with your inventory because it's at Amazon? There's nothing really to do after you've gotten it there and you've seen it checked in, right?
In theory, right? In theory, every item should get received, put into a sellable inventory, and you just kind of sit back and relax and let Amazon, let the machine do its work. But it is, if you're going to sell on Amazon, I would make tell people the advice of you have to treat it like a real job, like full time. You can't just send stuff in and forget about it and like see what happens and like hopefully I get paid. You got to pay attention. Because Amazon, what they're good at is receiving stuff and shipping boxes, right? That's what they're good at. But they'll make mistakes sometimes. They'll have, a shipment will come in and it'll be what's the right word for it? Not suspended, but kind of in limbo, right? Like it's not listed for sale, but it's in your inventory, and you have to go in and update something, or the product doesn't have dimensions. So until you enter dimensions, it doesn't go live on Amazon through FBA. And Amazon's not always really good at telling you when these things happen, right? So if you're talking Amazon inventory, this is going to be kind of a few subjects to talk about when it comes to Amazon, because you got your inbound, right? So you got to make sure the stuff that you send in gets received correctly, correct prices, correct counts, just straight up on the correct ASIN, right? I've tried to give people a strategy because I've done this myself, and I would break down combo kits and send in all the pieces. Sometimes the batteries and the chargers would be in a similar size box, so I'd rebox everything. And I would try not to put those in the same big box because to a warehouse guy, they look really close. If they don't get individually scanned, all of a sudden you're going to have mistakes. So if I send in 30 chargers and 30 batteries, and they receive 60 batteries and 0 chargers, I've got to pay attention to that. To go in and be like, whoa, 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 please go back and check and make sure, because what happens next? Then the customer orders a charger, they get a battery, it just creates this big problem. So you got to pay attention to that stuff. And then you're going to have your inventory that's sold that you have to replenish. You're going to have your inventory that's sold and gets returned, and maybe it's sellable, maybe it's not. You're going to have your inventory that's going to be subject to long-term storage fees because you sent in too much and it didn't sell through, and you got to decide if you're going to drop price and move it, if you're going to have it returned, or if you're going to pay that fee. There's a lot. I mean, you summed up your eBay inventory pretty quick. Got to make sure it's here and make sure I don't sell something I don't have.
True, but here's where I see that Amazon would win this. Everything you just said, you can do from the comfort of this chair or your couch or in bed. Whereas we're walking all over the house looking in tubs going, we still haven't found one pair of pajamas. I never sold them. Where they're at, I have no clue. They didn't get up and walk away. So I got to pull the listing. I got to figure it out. And if you don't, this maybe is not so much eBay versus, but this is, if you're not doing this and you're selling on either platform, you best be doing it because, I don't want to sell something that's not here anymore, and I found a few of those, but more so, like I said, 250 products weren't actively listed right now, and boom, as I'm listing them, they're selling. They're good stuff. I screwed up, and I should have fixed it immediately. Putting that off is really what put me in a hole, and I'm mad. I bet you Q4 could have been better had those 250 products been listed, and a lot of them were like winter coats, snowsuits, stuff that you would wear now, not you'd be wearing in July. Granted, I ship worldwide, so it's winter somewhere, everywhere, anytime. But, man, I dropped the ball, and this is your warning. Don't do what I did. It should be a few things, not pushing on 300, that's for sure.
Well, I'd hate to give you an out on such an easy victory, right? But I'm going to give you an out, but at the expense of your own personal inventory reconciliation system, whatever you want to call it. Because I got a couple of questions for you. One, what's the worst? I mean, like when you do this year after year, how many items do you typically find? What's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, of course, not having stuff listed is not going to sell, making the mistake of selling something you can't ship. But a lot of these can be solved by, and I don't want to say you need a better system because you've got your own system that works, and so many eBay sellers use their own system. But, I mean, there's a reason warehouses are set up with barcodes and pickers, and they're designed for that never to happen. They got checks and balances where a pair of pajamas will never disappear, or someone's head's going to roll, right? It either got stolen, right? Like someone, and they'll track it down and be like, "Oh, this is the guy who stole it. We can tell who stole it," because they're machines, they're robots, right? Like they're designed to manage inventory, and that's where I'm going to pick on you a little bit because I'm guessing your inventory system isn't reverse engineered to say, okay, let's have 3 checks to make sure this type of mistake never happens.
Yeah, well, I have it all in a spreadsheet. So everything for sale, the cost I paid is in a spreadsheet. So I knock that out once I sell it. But I had to reconcile that too, and this was the worst ever. Usually, I might find 20 things, and what happens too, and this is a warning to every eBayer. Here's what happens to a lot of it: you sell something, they don't pay. This is where Chris can be like, Amazon wins, drop the mic. They don't pay. And then you file the non-paying bidder, you get your fees back, but then you forget to relist it. So it just sit on the shelf still, and I found tons of those too. I'm going, oh yeah, that was sold. Over the year, I didn't keep up with it, and I have to put in my own checks and balances to make sure the second I go through that process, it has to be relisted immediately, or I forget about it. And I did that this week. I had something that didn't pay. The second I clicked, give me my fees back, I went and relisted it. So, I don't care how long you've been in the game, you always should be figuring out ways to make your life easier, better, more productive, and not be such an idiot like me.
And that's part of it. I do see people get hung up. They're like, I can't get started because I don't know how to set up my eBay inventory shelves. And I'm like, just set them up. You're going to make mistakes, right? Customer service and communication will solve every mistake, right? Like, if you sold something you couldn't ship, What would you do?
You mean like couldn't ship like I didn't have it, or I was like laid up in?
You went and looked for it, and you're like, I don't know where I went. Shoot,
Well,
I missed it.
yeah, I mean, there's two things. If it's something easily found somewhere else, I go buy it and have it shipped to them. I mean, that's number one. If I can't find it, and we'll take some time, we'll look. Excuse me. I'll leave the office for 6 hours, come back, fresh eyes. I'll send the wife in. I'll send the assistant in. If at that point we're just shit out of luck, then it's go find one online. Now, if it's something rare that you can't find on a normal basis, then I just kind of have to refund the customer and apologize and grovel for forgiveness. And when I get that negative, it is well deserved because I could not fulfill what my customer thought he was getting. And that's the thing. That's the thing I see people do all the time. Like I popped through another group the other night, and a guy sold a product that he mislabeled in the title, and everyone talked about how buyers are bad because the guy gave him a negative. And it's a product that didn't work because the guy didn't realize it wasn't going to be a product that wasn't going to work because of the title. And everyone chimed in. Buyers are bad. They're always trying to scam us, blah, blah, blah. And I finally happened to see it, and I don't participate a ton in other groups because I'm always busy in mine, but I said, hey, you screwed up the title. You mislabeled this product. Of course he doesn't know it's not going to work because you did not label it correctly. And everybody else was kind of like, oh, yeah, the original poster was like, you're right. I screwed up. It was in the description. I go, I don't care. No one reads descriptions. If it ain't your title, you ain't protected. So calling eBay, I go, that's a well-deserved negative. And it was for a $2.25 item. That's another reason not to sell cheap items. If I'm going to catch a negative, I'd rather catch it for $100 than for $2.
But everything you said isn't like a big deal.
No, and I said you should immediately refund his money and apologize. And he was like, "Yep, you're right, Jay." And people kept trying to argue after that. I'm like, the buyer's not wrong. The title was wrong. The seller screwed up. He admitted once I showed him his error. He admitted he screwed up and he was done. But people wanted to argue with me for some point. Like, how is this an argument? The customer was led down this path, and he should have been led down that path.
Right, like imagine a customer ordered a battery and got a charger from me.
Yeah.
Right? My mistake. Like, I own it. I used to send out replacements. If I made a mistake, which I'd make, especially when I was merchant fulfilling, I would ship the wrong, like a saw instead of a different type of saw. And I was so customer focused, I would send the replacement right away without even getting the other one back. And every time, except once, the customer did what they were supposed to do. They got their replacement, and they packed up the second one and sent it back. They could have kept it. What am I going to do, travel to Kansas and be like, hey, man, where's my $50 saw? They could have kept it, and really, what could I have done about it? And one person did, right? But everyone else didn't. They returned it, right? So I could have pretended everybody was going to rip me off, put in so much more work, put the buyer through more trouble, say you have to return that to me, 3-4 days in shipping transit, and then 3 or 4 days for me to ship one back, just in case, just so they don't possibly steal from me, or get them their tool that they paid for. I messed up, my mistake. I mean, it's very freeing to just treat buyers like real people, to believe that buyers are not out to rip you off, because they really aren't. Are there some? Yes, they exist. They're out there. They're bad apples. But treating everybody that way in case they're a bad apple, it's just going to make you miserable. It's going to make your business more complicated than it needs to be. Oh, it's crazy town.
It's like, could you get robbed at the ATM while getting money out? Of course. Have we seen people on the news get robbed at the ATM? Of course. Is that stopping me from using an ATM? No. Because the likelihood of me getting robbed, well, now that I've said it to the universe, I'm probably going to get robbed today, but the likelihood is very minuscule.
Robbed you.
Because think about it. People get robbed. Absolutely. That happens. People go to jail for it all the time. But think about how many people went to an ATM on the day that one person got robbed. 100,000? 500,000? 1 million people? And so one person got robbed, that doesn't register on a scale. Same with this. One customer doesn't return your thing out of how many, that doesn't even register. But everyone puts that on like every buyer's that way. No! Silly goose, not a chance. And the amount of time devoted, and we've talked about this endlessly, Chris, the amount of time devoted going on social media to whine and complain about this bad buyer, you lost this $50. Shut up and sell more. If you listed more things and all the time you pissed and moaned and worried about that $50 and you sold a few of those things, that $50 would be gone and not worried about. It's business. There is no business where it's always positive. You're going to have loss in your business. You know, look, SpaceX landed their rocket beautifully on a barge in the ocean, and then it fell over and blew up. So they got it to where they needed to go, and then it tipped over. Is SpaceX done? No. They are going to figure out why that one tipped over and go on. But what they're not going to do is sit in Facebook groups and go, my rocket blew up.
Could you imagine? A bunch of rocket engineers in there. Oh, the rocket blew up. Now what are we going to do? They're going to
figure out why that one leg toppled, and then they're going to build it stronger next time.
Well, that's the thing. You got to get your mistakes out the way. Right now, we can go all the way to extreme and like, oh, we got to, have our exploding rockets. We got to get those explosions out of the way. And to a point, yeah, that's true. If you want to explore space, you're going to explode a few rockets on the way up there. That's just going to happen. If you want to sell on eBay, you're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to have to list that thing that you can't ship. You're going to have to take an order you can't fulfill. You're going to make these mistakes. But the thing is, when that mistake happens, you put a new process in place to make sure that doesn't happen again. You try to track it back. What happened? Where is it? Is it too messy here? Did something get thrown out? Did something fall behind a desk? And that's what happened. So let's put like a little bumper behind there to make sure nothing can roll back there because apparently we made that mistake. I made the mistake. This was our process, Jay. I had a desk with like tons of little cubbies back in the money order days. So we get 3, 4, 7 money orders a day for our eBay listing. So we would open them up, and buyers weren't always the best. They would just send $67.50, and you're like, okay, who's this guy? And
I remember those days.
You have to match it up by the penny. Like, well, this is the only order for $67.50, so it must be this one. Or it's got a name on the letter that doesn't match any of the names in your buyer list, so you have to like go by zip code. I mean, like, you have to match this up. So we would get the thing, we would match it up, we would mark it paid, and I would put the money order in the little cubby, and when we got enough money orders, we'd take them to the bank. Apparently, I received the money order and put it in the cubby without marking an item as paid. I made that mistake. I still don't know how it happened, other than I probably was just sitting there, I just put it in without clicking the screen, or I clicked somewhere wrong and it didn't check the box. I don't know what it was, but I made a mistake. And the buyer's like, hey, what's up? I didn't get my thing. I'm like, man, I didn't get your money order, man. Like, track. And I said, track it down. That's why you use money orders. Track it down. And he tracked it, and he could prove that I deposited it. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like, as soon as he proved it, I was like, shoot, I must have made a mistake. He can prove it. And that was back. I couldn't go in and say, here's a $3,000 deposit. Can you tell me if there's a 6713? Like, I don't know. We did one big deposit. So I took his word for it because he showed a deposit from Washington Mutual, the bank that I was like, oh shoot, so sorry, my mistake. Shipped him his item with a ton of free stuff, but he was dead set that I was a scam seller, right? This was all an elaborate plan to get him to send a second money order. I was like, dude, you're insane. But whatever, I shipped him his stuff because he was the customer, but I made a mistake. So what do I need to do? I need to go back and make sure that whatever process I'm doing to receive the orders, to check off the boxes, to make sure this doesn't happen again. But it wasn't personal. It wasn't like, oh, I need to quit, or like, oh, I can't start until I have the perfect receiving system. No, you're going to just realize you're going to make mistakes. Even if you're 95%, you're going to make 5% of mistakes. Good, fix it. Now you're 98. Now you're 99. The only way no one starts at 100, but you'll get to 100 by like earn your stripes or something, or like take your licks or what. Those aren't. I'm not supposed to use those anymore, I don't think. What are the ones? Pay your dues?
Yeah, pay your dues. That's a good one. And the other thing I'm doing, too, is I'm losing my assistant in about a week, and I haven't found a replacement yet, which I got to do soon. But I want to make sure that this behind me is very neat and organized for 2 reasons. I don't want the person to be afraid on day 1. And 2, in the interim, I have a couple travel things that Stacy, my wife, might have to ship. And my mom's coming to visit to watch the dogs while we go off to New York. So if my mom's shipping for me, it's got to be easy. I mean, my mom can ship, but I don't want to have to make her look for hours for one item. So it's got to be dialed in. So I thought, all right, I'm going to dial everything in and keep it neat and tidy. It'll keep life smoother. And like Krista said, I learn from my mistakes. I am going to follow through much better now, so I don't have these issues because I know I lost money. I know I lost money by the speed of some of the stuff that sold when I relisted it. That I probably could have got some more of the stuff gone and then moved on to other fun stuff. And
you know what I call that? That's the tax.
Yep.
You had to pay
Yep.
the eBay tax, the forgot to list your stuff tax, and the biggest example I have of the tax that you have to pay. Because if you pay enough tax, you're going to learn your lesson.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess I didn't mention that Jeremy was leaving on this show. Yes, Jeremy has a job that has full benefits. So I can't compete with that. And Jeremy has a child. So, you know, good luck,
We
buddy.
wish Jeremy, we wish him well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he's going to retain the key for a while. He even said he'd help out when I'm gone in a couple of weeks if he's got to come over after his other job. So, you know, it was good that besides being an employee, we forged a bond and a friendship that in a pinch he'll come help out. So, and my old assistant, she still has her key. I haven't needed her in forever, but it's, you know, and we talked about this before. It's good to have close friends. I mean, close in distance that God forbid something happens while you're not at your house and the alarm goes off or the water heater bursts, that can go over, you know? So you should have that person. And now I have two. And so it doesn't freak me out. Like when an assistant leaves, especially in this kind of condition, I didn't fire him. I don't need to run down and change my locks. You know, you got to be a little bit trusting.
Dude, the worst tax that I ever had to pay is back when you had to file your sales tax reports monthly. So if you're buying your inventory, doing retail arbitrage like I was, and you're not paying tax when you buy it, you have to pay tax when you sell it, but only to Texas buyers. And you had to file this every quarter. No, not every quarter, every month. So you had to go in, get all your sales, then take all your Texas sales, and then calculate the sales tax that you have to pay. Or you should have collected and paid. And whether I collected or not, I still had to pay it on a Texas sale. Monthly, I had to do that. And if you were late, it was $50. $50 if you're late by one day. I must have paid that tax at least 10 times.
Does Jen know this?
I've said it before, maybe not on this show. But I mean, and I'd be mad at myself every time. Like, how many times do I have to pay this $50 stupid tax? Right? Like, Texas will take it. Texas, like, we don't really care if you're late. We'll take your $50. Right? Like, it's not Texas. The state of Texas is not like, shoot, you're late. We're mad at you. No, they're like, we're not mad, but you're late, so now you owe us another $50. They are unemotional about it. Unemotional, which is where we need to kind of be with selling online. Don't be emotional about this stuff. Nothing's emotional here. But I had to pay the tax, and I eventually learned my lesson. You know?
Now, to get back to what we were originally talking about, the other good thing to do when you're doing inventory, and this will be for both platforms, but for eBay, as I've gone through every single thing for sale, I've realized there's a good chunk that they were duds. Why did I buy these? Or I missed the window. And so I realized some things were sitting around far too long. Some things were mislabeled, actually. And just at a quick glance when I bought them, maybe they were hot, but look at now, nobody's selling them. So do not waste your time to relist it. Like I had a glass, it was from the inaugural season of the Colorado Rockies, and it was a Seagram's VO glass commemorating the inaugural season. So you got two brands, Colorado Rockies and Seagram's. Nobody wants it. I was going to go relist it, so I looked. There is like 50. And that tells me people don't pay attention. If there's 50 for sale and no one sold one, those 50 people are wasting their time. You know, granted, there might be someone who comes along, but if you're seeing no solds and 50 for sale, that's a dumb product to list. Very much so. So I pulled all those dumb products. I'm like, oh, at that moment I bought them, I thought it'd be good or it was good at that time. They got to go. So I had a garage sale. I moved some stuff. I'll donate a bunch. I'll get my little punch card at Savers, take a discount. So I'll turn my crap back into a discount for better stuff. And that is the circle of life. And same thing, if you're seeing, and Chris will attest to this, if you're seeing long-term storage fees on stuff that's been there far too long and hasn't moved, you best figure out if it's worth keeping those there and getting their long-term storage fees. And it might be seasonal. Am I right, Chris? Would you leave seasonal if it's hot during the seasons and accrue like 10 months?
I had someone, I was on the phone with somebody, like, when should I leave my stuff? When should I pull my stuff before long-term storage fees? I'm like, it's based on way too many things. the type of product, how many you have. There's just so many factors that go into it that sometimes, hey, you're willing to leave it there. Sometimes you need to just return it and send it back. We've actually been talking to Amazon a little bit about trying to get some kind of discounted storage fee so you can leave your stuff there but have it not sellable, right? So put it like in the corner, bury it in the corner of a warehouse so you don't have to return it and then send it back to Amazon. Because with the long-term storage fees, if someone's new to Amazon or FBA, they're simply designed to force sellers to turn their inventory. That's all it is. They're going to say, hey, we want you to send us 6 months supply at most of any product. And if you don't, then you're going to have to pay to keep it on our shelf. And they make that fee so artificially high as a tax to teach you, to prove to you that you need to send sellable inventory. You can pay it if you want. Amazon will take your money, but Amazon is not in the storage business. They are in the inventory turning business. They are in the data business, not storage. They don't care about storage. They will force you to turn your inventory, or they will just take your money hand over fist, really. I mean, the long-term storage fees are obscene on purpose. So we'd like to see like a lower storage fee to bear, like take it off the moving shelves, right? Don't make it available. And sellers would understand what that's all about. Because you can just return it to yourself, 50 cents a unit, and send it all back in, right? So, I mean, there's a little bit of an overlap with what you're talking about. You just went through a garage sale at your house. You just went through returning, like throwing stuff out or returning it back to the thrift store. And Amazon sellers go through the same thing. They're like, I need to either sell or have this inventory returned or disposed of before these fees come in, or it's seasonal and I still have 35 of these things left and they're not going to sell outside of the season. So you have to decide what to do with your inventory. Like, it's not as simple as just list it on eBay and see what happens, right? You might accrue some listing fees for a long time if you're buying crap and listing it, just hoping it'll sell, or sending stuff to Amazon and ignoring it, and all of a sudden you're paying a balance on your seller account because your long-term storage fees kicked in and you didn't automate those removals. So it's with both of them, you have to pay attention. These are real businesses. If you're gonna sell online, you got to check it every day. You have to pay attention.
Yeah, and the other thing I did when I was doing my inventory, I bought these postcards on the show on Thrift Hunters. And they're from the World Fair 64, 65, and there's many, many duplicates. I thought, all right, I'm going to break them down into lots of 10. And I just realized I never even sold the first lot. I was going to list lot 1, then sell this lot 2. And so it sat in my store for 2 years. And looking at eBay now, if I sold this whole brick, it'll actually sell. And the return is very good, but people weren't buying in lots of 10. People want big groups of them. And so even though I've sat on it for 2 years of listing, I'm going to relist it as a whole lot. I'll probably take small money for it, but I will still move it. I will still make money, but I didn't just give up. I always check things as I'm going through this and double checking. And if you got a Savers near you, Savers is my favorite thrift store. They give you a discount card for every 6 bags. You get 30% off your whole bill. So I keep a rack, shelves behind my car in the garage. And when stuff like this happens and I'm pulling it, I put it on there. When I go to the thrift store, I fill up the back of my car. I get my discount. I get 30% off. I buy some new stuff. And I got to tell you, Chris, I have really thought about and looked into changing a lot of what I sell. I've realized over the last year that things aren't selling that used to sell, and not just very specific, but overall, like T-shirts are kind of dead, Hawaiian shirts, coffee mugs. You find the good ones, of course, are always going to sell, but the guy I had on my show last week, he only has like 300 items at a time on eBay, and his sell-through rate's 50%. I'm like, holy shit. And he changed the things. He figured out, like, these are always going to sell, and he's doing way more electronics than I'm doing. And I'm like, all right. So I got to change my patterns. I want to make as much money with less work. I'm happy with that. So let's figure out. So I keep having sales. I'm going to run some of this crap off and keep fine-tuning. If you sit, and that's where I see people really just miss the point. If you sit on what you've been selling 10 years ago and you're trying to do it now and it's not moving, don't keep trying it. Figure out something new and figure out ways. Like I said, I'm going to take this from small groups to one large group. It'll sell and it'll go. And I bought 2 Doctor Who things at a thrift store a couple weeks ago. They both look like awesome things. I didn't even do any research. I know Doctor Who fans are very rabid. They love their stuff. I found a cool backpack and a cool book. Well, they suck. Nobody cares. I'm shocked, but all right, I'm putting them together. Oops. I still want to make my money, and I think together they'll be a cool little lot. Maybe I'll break even, but I'll take break even over losing every day of the week. I live in Vegas. If you leave the casino even, that's a win. That is a win, brother.
That should be a title of a book.
And don't get don't get discouraged. Somebody said coffee mugs are terrible. Yeah, things are down, but don't stop looking. Like, I'll still pull out $50 T-shirts out of the T-shirt aisle. I just won't buy as many mid ones that I used to because they're not selling. Because what I think happens is too many people start selling them, and it might drop off. But I still hunt for the gems, and I will definitely still hunt for the gems in the coffee mug section. I'll just be more discriminatory of what I buy.
Well, you got to pay attention. Like, you can't stop. I mean, like, if I went thrift store shopping and just went like, okay, this is what I learned from Jason Smith 4 years ago, that I'm buying Life is Good T-shirts. I'm buying anything with a Disney logo on it, right? If I was going to go in blind and just buy, I'd be buying a lot of Disney, a lot of Life is Good, a lot of Starbucks. I'd probably buy every Dunkin' Donuts mug. And now, probably you got to pivot. You got not pivot, but you got to stay with the market, right? Because if people just aren't buying Dunkin' Donuts mugs because, hey, I can buy one for $6.99 at Dunkin' Donuts, then why are people going to go on eBay and buy them? But the market will adjust, all right? So I see the chat room saying, oh, these are down, this and that. Hey, guys, I know the guy at Death Wish Coffee if you guys want, like, some mugs or some deals on that. If you guys are if you are Death Wish Coffee drinkers, send me a message, and I will see what I can do to get you some kind of deal or something. But you got to adapt to the market, right? Like if all of a sudden everybody's doing Life is Good shirts and supply is outpacing demand on eBay, price is going to come down. When price comes down, all of a sudden sellers are going to be like, hey, you know what? The Life is Good stuff sucks. I'm not going to buy that anymore. I'm not going to send it in. I'm not going to list it. I'm not going to. And supply goes down. But if demand stays the same, that supply going down is going to lead to higher prices. When those higher prices kick in, sellers are going to be like, hey, did you notice that Life is Good shirts are doing pretty good again on eBay? They're going to go look for them again. The market will come and go. You got to pay attention to it. You can't just make generalized statements saying these are always going to be good and these tanks, we're never going to buy them again. No. You got to check every now and then, right? You don't have to look up Starbucks mugs every single day you're at the thrift store and be like, oh, tomorrow, shoot, they crashed. They're dead. Absolutely dead from now on. I need to check in case that happens. No, you can generalize and like check every month, every 2 months. Be like, hey, how are Starbucks mugs doing in general? Let me get out my WorthPoint app, see what's going on. What's the sell-through rate? And pay attention, which goes back to what we were originally talking about. This is a real business. You have to pay attention the whole way through. You can't just like start coasting. You start coasting, you're going to make mistakes.
Hey, did you say Death Wish Coffee?
Death Wish Coffee.
Yeah, I never heard of it. So while you were talking, I looked it up. Holy shit, those mugs go for a lot of money. If you find the right ones. There's a sold for $500. There's a sold for $360. But
dude,
look,
you should be the exclusive eBay Death Wish Coffee distributor. I'll see what I can do.
All right. But here, I want to share something because, look, I learned something from paying attention in my own group. The group moves so fast and I'm so busy, I don't get to read everything like I used to in the old days. But when things catch my eye, I learn real quick, so it makes me a better thrifter. So here's a Fire King mug of Snoopy as a Red Baron. And what's cool about it is they had two versions of it. And I'm going to share this version. And I think the person in... Oh, man. Huh. My share won't work. I happened once before. All right, well, go look at solds and look for the orange version. So the top of Snoopy's doghouse is red in a lot of the versions, and those sell for like $100, $125. But if you find the orange version, which I assumed was just faded red until I looked, and yes, there was an orange version. The orange, like the one I'm looking at, sold for $355. So there are good quality, money to be made tiki mugs. See where my mind's always at. Coffee mugs. Just do your research. Yeah, the stuff I was buying in the past that used to sell ain't selling anymore. So, but now, man, I'm on the hunt for this Fire King Snoopy mug because I see the money in it. And now that I wouldn't stop before, but now when I go to antique stores, I know the orange version's in the $300 to $400 range, and the red version's in the $100, $125 range. So an antique store's got it for 50, I'm buying it.
Right. So it's knowledge you gain just by hanging out with other people on Facebook, the Thrifting Board Facebook group. You guys can find that very easily. It's really just that easy. But guess what? If all of a sudden everybody sees it in there, and it's like, what was the like Royal Dalton went through this, Carnival Glass goes through it, where people don't realize the supply and demand, they don't realize the market price, and all of a sudden people are like, "Ooh, I got that," and that one rare Snoopy mug that shows up on eBay, once every 3 years, now people see what it's sold for, and they grab it out of their cabinet and list it. Now you have 6. Well, now supply is up. It means price is going to come down. If it comes down to a level where it's not worth it, then you ditch it. If it stays where it's worth it, you keep doing it. But this isn't very complicated.
No, it's not. All right, hang on. Shoot, where'd it go? I figured out a way to share.
You can't share your screen anymore?
No, but all right, hang on a minute. Riff for a second, would you please?
Well, you need me like free flow on the mic?
Yes. I gotta find where my thing went. There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. So I'm gonna pull that out. Screen share that. Ta-da! Share. There we go. So I just want to offer up. Hey, cool. Everybody see that? You see that, Chris?
I'm behind. Hold on.
Let me.
On the other one? I got to put that screen up. There you go.
I think I got it up for everyone to see. Yep.
Dude, you're going to catch me on feedback. I got to start selling something.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, so this is just a little tip. This jacket was found midday through a half-off clothing sale day at Savers. So here's your tip. Just because you didn't get to it at the opening doesn't mean there's not treasures to be had. I paid $5.50, and I sold it for $98, and it went to someplace like Hong Kong, and they paid for shipping. So there's your tip of the day. Do not get discouraged because you did not get to the store at opening. You just got to look. There are deals to be had.
I tell you, I see people psych themselves out. They're like, I didn't get there on time. I saw too many other people scanning. And it's an excuse. They're looking for an excuse why they're not going to find anything. And if that's in your head, then you're not going to find anything. I mean, I don't know better. I mean, it's not very scientific, I know, but
here's that mug I was talking about. So there's the mug you were on the hunt for. Red will do you good. Orange will do you even better.
Wow.
There it is. Yep, so you're looking for the orange version. That'll get you lots and lots of money. So keep that in mind. And, when I see things like this, Chris, now I'm on the hunt. Like, I'm going to go hit some antique stores this week and hope I find one for $50 just to flip it. I'll happily get something $50 to flip it for $350.
And check it out, guys. Like, this is Snoopy, this is Charles Schulz, this is Peanuts, this is Charlie Brown. You got 50. Like, my kids are not going to care about this. Right? So this is a generational, I mean, this is a little bit of a long term. It's not going to be like nobody cares about Snoopy next year. But eventually, no one's going to care about this thing. Eventually, nobody's going to pay $300 for this coffee mug. It's just generational.
Yep.
Right? So pounce while you can. Make money. These are like arbitrage windows. This is a very large window. Right? This window isn't going to close anytime soon. But every opportunity will close. Right? Like I am actually kind of surprised that there's still such a huge market for collectible stamps and coins, because I just don't care about it. And to be honest, I don't know anybody that cares about it. Like, ooh, check out this dime from like so long ago. It's worth $1 million. I'm like, you guys are crazy, right? In 50 years from now, will people still care? I mean, maybe. I don't know, but it's.
Yeah. One of my cousins asked me. He goes, "Hey, I got a customer here." And I don't know what my cousin does for a living. But he said, I got a customer here that wants to know if you want to sell some rare coins of theirs. And I'm like, man, I don't know anything about coins. So for me to sit down and learn, I've got so much other stuff to do. tell him thanks, but I'm not the guy for this job. And he said, okay. And then I wrote back and I went, wait, if it's a $50,000 coin, I'll learn real quick. If it's a $100 coin, I don't got time. But yeah, if we're talking 50 grand, I'm the man. That's just another tip. Don't, I've sold for friends. I still do occasionally. I see people start doing it and they're not taking enough of the cut and they're not selling enough high dollar items. To sell friends stuff who's going to sell for $10, it ain't worth your time. Sell your own $10 items. But if a friend's going to bring you a $50,000 item, yeah, you best learn how to ship it, how to sell it, whatever, because, that's real money. I said, let me know. If we're talking thousands of dollars, I'll start learning coins.
Yep.
You always got to be adapting. Always got to be moving around, and it gets my juices flowing. Like going through this inventory, I'm like, all right, I'm not buying this no more. But I'm gonna go find some more of this. I watch what Chad sells. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go find some of this because I've seen it. I just tend to ignore it because it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to ship. But man, if he's got a 50% sell-through rate, I got to emulate his business.
Right. We make it more complicated than it needs to be, for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. We had a good turnout today, 52. Nice. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Any questions beyond what we've chatted about so far today?
Get some official questions in. I tell you, Jason, I think I'm going to start offering personal coaching. I've had so many people ask for it, and one reason I haven't done it is because we do a show right here live. You got a question, you need to be coached on something, come on and ask it. But I've got enough feedback from people that people would rather have the private one-on-one phone call kind of stuff. So we are looking to make a kind of a coaching kind of bank of not just sellers but experts. So yeah, I know we haven't told you this already, but yeah, we'll put you in as the eBay expert for personal coaching for those who want one-on-one hand-holding, advice, all that stuff. You guys, the demand is there, apparently. I'm surprised because you guys can get free right now, but some of you guys tell me you want to pay and do a private. Okay, we will give the market what it wants.
And as a heads up for those of you coming to ASD this year, I've been asked to speak for the first time, so I'll be a speaker at 2 p.m. on Sunday. So you'll find me at ASD chatting about I'm chatting about the opposite of what Chris Green does. I'm going to chat about staying in your lane and staying focused, where Chris Green's like, squirrel, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, I'm going to do it all.
Get on Snapchat.
But the funny was, I was talking to the person in charge, Robin, and she goes, but that is Chris's lane. Chris's lane is changing lanes every week. I go, good point.
I was going to post this on Facebook today. This was seriously going to be like either in my group or on my page. I know what I'm good at. Do you? Like a real question. Stop and think, because I've done a bunch of things, and I've done a bunch of things I'm not good at. And once you stop and realize and think about it, if you can't figure it out for yourself, that's when you ask your friends, say, hey, give me the truth, though. Don't Mickey Mouse me on this. Tell me the truth. What am I good at? And once you figure that out, then you can really start dominating lots of different things. So
and that's what I'm gonna talk about. And I'm gonna do the so opposite of you. You do speeches with no slides, no pictures. I'm gonna do like too many.
No, nobody likes slides.
Oh, bullshit. You think they don't. But more importantly, if you're here for ASD, Tuesday night, we did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. Big party at Frankie's Tiki Room. We filled the place last year, and Chris and I were there for 7.5 hours.
Yeah. We ordered food twice.
Yes.
We're hungry again. Let's order something.
You know you're in a bar a long time when the bartender who started when you got there is leaving. His shift is over. When Mike walked past us, I went, we have been here far too long. But everybody was having a good time. We had 65 people in Frankie's last ASD. So come on down. Come see.
Break the record.
Yeah. Come see me on Sunday Talk, or come see me on Tuesday Drink Rum. Whatever you want to do. And then by chance you happen to be going to Iron Maiden, it's that Sunday night after I talk. You can find me at the Iron Maiden concert too.
Dude, Vegas sounds fun. All we do here is shovel snow.
I know. Last night, I'm watching the football. My friends, they rolled into town for just a night. Hey, come meet us. Cool. So we went to Frankie's. We drank. What do you guys want to do? You want to see boobs? Cool. So we went off into a strip club, and then I went home and had dinner. That's the joy of living here. Nothing closes. You can do anything you want at any time. And ain't no rolling the sidewalks up at 8 o'clock like in Rehoboth, Massachusetts.
We don't even have sidewalks, dude.
I know. The joys of living in Vegas. Plus, it's sunny and blue skies. You do not have that.
Dude, Rakin is here.
Rakin in the chat?
Crazy town. All right, so we didn't get any official questions.
All right, that's cool.
Do the questions.
Come see me talk. Come see me drink. Hang out. Let me know. I will be putting a post up about both, where you can see me speak and where about hanging out at Frankie's. So you don't have to commit it to memory right now, but I will put a post up letting everyone know where we're hanging out. And anybody coming in for that week, I got tons of friends coming in. We'll be hanging out. We'll be thrifting around town. I got friends staying here. So let me know if you want to hang out and eat dinner, go thrifting, whatever. We'll be doing all of it that week.
We actually had two short questions. One from Darren. Do you use third-party company to pack and ship for you? There's definitely be more on the Amazon FBA side. I don't. Well, actually, I do. Up in New Hampshire, Brendan Sullivan with Prime Zero Prep. You can find him at primezeroprep.com or come in our Facebook group and you can ask him any questions that you want. It's great for online arbitrage, orders you don't want to ship yourself. They'll do it for you. They'll sell you back your time, basically. You don't have to spend time prepping and packing. They'll do it for you for a reasonable fee. And the other question I'm going to give to you, taxes are the biggest concern. Any tips for paying taxes on eBay?
Yes, call a tax professional. That is the one bit of advice I will not touch with a 10-foot pole. Because, when people say, well, Jason said not to keyword spam. Yeah, I did, and yeah, it's a good practice. But I don't want anyone ever to say, well, Jason said don't pay that tax or pay this tax or do that. You have to go find a professional who knows about online selling. I lucked out. I found one. She tells me what to give her. I give her what she needs. Then she yells at me and tells me I forgot half of it, and then I finish giving her the other half, and then she takes care of my taxes. So I don't have to worry about it. That is the one time you should really, really pay for quality help. Like, you can get somebody to take pictures on the cheap. Don't get your accountant on the cheap. Do not do a little. I'm going to do the fast file at the little corner kiosk in the mall. Don't do that if you're selling online, please.
No, yeah, and do not ever say, but Jason Smith said.
No, it's the
one. I heard Chris Green say. No,
advice I will not touch.
Never.
Other than go find a good professional. That's my advice, please.
Right. We can tell you what we do. That is not legal advice.
Yeah.
You can do what we do.
Here's what I do. Here, Gail, take care of this. That's what I do.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Okay, I want to share the screen again real quick. We have a viewer named Krista. Hey, Krista, what's happening? She doesn't know where the chat is. Some people don't realize there is a chat if you view it on a computer. So let me show that. Nope, I don't want to do that. Let me show that real quick because some people don't know. And then they always hear us talking about the chat. They're like, where's this chat? So I will do a quick screen share to show you where the chat is. And that way you can see what we're talking about. Make sure it's muted so I don't go insane. There we go. Camera on, screen share. Did I pull it off? I think I did. Right. So there's our chat on the right-hand side. So if you ever want to participate during the show live, any YouTube Google Hangout show live, you do have to be on a computer. And I think, and correct me, chat, if I'm wrong, I think if you go in through your browser on your iPad, you can see the chat. I think. But for sure on a computer, and that's where people chat. And the only bummer with chat, the only thing I find wrong with this platform, the second we end, that chat goes away. I wish it was saved, so when people watch, they can go back and see it. So there you go. That's where the chat is.
We'll work with the platform best we can.
Yeah.
And Nelly says she can chat on the Android, so that's cool.
Nelly, is that Android phone or an Android tablet? Somebody wants to know about hiring virtual assistants. I've never hired one, so I have no advice. Have you, Chris?
I've tried. My issue with virtual assistants is that you have to spend the time. I mean, it's my responsibility to train them, and I was never very good at training them. I mean, I know what I'm good at, right? And spending time, training and creating like training materials. Because if you're gonna hire, I just spilled a water bottle over myself, by the way.
You're like my other co-host. She spills shit too.
It's your responsibility to train and keep a VA busy. That's your responsibility. If you're going to hire someone to do tasks for you, which is a great way to grow and scale your business, you have two responsibilities. Well, three if you count paying them. One, train them. Two, keep them busy. And I don't enjoy either one of those. So I don't do it because I don't enjoy it. So there's an opportunity there. If you want to train and keep VAs busy for me, I would be interested in that.
There you go.
Business opportunities everywhere. So.
And we have friends. We have many friends that use VAs and have great results. Unfortunately, we're just not the two to ask about it. So
no, come in our groups and ask about VAs.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, look, Chris and I will never bullshit you. If you ask us for advice about something we've never done, I'm just going to tell you, I've never done it. I won't try and figure out some angle to tell you how it works, because if I don't know, I don't know.
Dude, so, Barbara's got a good point right here. Thinking about sharing a VA, I've recommended that to a ton of people. Make a private Facebook group for 4 or 5 people, hire 1 VA, 2 VAs, whatever it is, because then you're sharing the training and delegation, right? So they can be looking for online arbitrage deals for you and posting it to all 4 of you, and then you're sharing not just the cost 4 or 5 ways, but also the responsibility of the training and the task delegation. And it's great. And maybe one person in your Facebook, in your mastermind group, is really good at that, really enjoys that, and doesn't see that as a burden or a struggle. Play to your strengths, right? And don't make a mastermind group with everybody who's exactly like you. You ain't gonna learn nothing, right? You're all gonna be the smartest person in the room, right? Get some people who are smarter than you in your mastermind groups. Anyway, that's a topic for another show. Maybe we'll do that next Monday. We'll talk about VAs and. Well, we don't have VAs, so we can't really talk about it.
Well, I'll say we could bring our first. We never had a guest.
That's right, because the eBay versus Amazon show. Who else knows about eBay and Amazon other than us?
Yeah, but I'm saying if we want to talk about something, we got ton. You and I got a big Rolodex full of people who do everything, and if we could pull someone in.
All right. Well, anybody that's listening, if you have VAs and you'd like to come on, please let us know. More so, or especially so, if you share VAs with multiple people. And the topics, the questions we're going to ask you are about training and keeping your VAs busy. Because if someone's hiring a new VA, once they figure out where to find them, which is not hard, they're going to have to figure out how to train and delegate so they get the results. Because I mean, that was my struggle with it. Like, all of a sudden I had to keep this guy busy, and he's like messaging me, "Hey, what can I do for you?" And I'm like, I really don't have time to write out a whole list of tasks. It was my fault, 1,000% my fault. He was eager. He was looking to work. And if you have the right type of business model where you can hire people like that, do it. Do it. Outsource. They can be 80% as good as you, and that allows you to free up, and they'll be working for you.
That's what I always tell people, the next level, to take yourself to the next level, you always got to have an assistant, even if it's just 1 day a week from excuse me, if it's just 1 day a week taking pictures, that takes a whole chunk off your plate, and then you can list more, and you'll definitely see it grow, and it's great too. Like when you leave to travel in 2 weeks, I'm like, crap, Stacy's gonna have to ship, and then I'm gonna have to get off my ass. As Chris said, he's like, I don't train him well. Well, I know my assistant's leaving. I haven't done much about it other than ask the bartenders at the bars I hang out if they know anyone. So that's about as far as I've gotten. So I need to expand outside of that realm to find a good new assistant.
Oh, man.
All right, 12:01. Boom, there it is. Our show.
60 minutes. Drop the mic. You see the sun is setting over here already. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, guys, join us every Monday, 2:01 Eastern, 11:01 West Coast. We post the link in our Scam Power Facebook group and in the Thrifting Board Facebook group, or you can follow our channel right here. I'm guessing you get updates or something when we make a new show. But follow us around Facebook. Be sure to know about the show. And if you have questions, anything we can help you with to grow your business, to start your business, whatever it might be, please lean on us. Take our knowledge. We are offering it up for free, 1 hour a week, every Monday right here. So if there's something we can do to help you, please. I mean, we're begging to take advantage of us. Take advantage of the years of experience with selling online because there's no guarantee we're going to offer this up forever, right? Because it is an opportunity cost. What else could we be doing? How much further along with inventory reconciliation could Jason be? And, how many other paths, how many other lanes could I be switching into during this hour? And but for now, the hour is spent helping you guys, whether with education or entertainment, maybe a little of both.
And motivation.
That doesn't start with E.
Oh, sorry. E-motivation. It's online motivation.
Whatever.
All right. Maybe we'll have a guest on next week. Maybe it'll be our first ever guest on this show. So.
Trivia question.
Oh, what?
Who was the first guest?
Oh, yeah. It will be a trivia question. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day. 63 people. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Ta-ta.
See you guys. Going down for real.
Word.